Hi all, welcome back to a new post today, and today let's speak about a policy of the Telangana government which was brought up to deal with e-waste. So the Telangana e-waste policy was brought about in 2017. Let's look at some of the major features of this e-waste policy, and it is a new policy not only in the realm of governance but also from the center as well as the state. At the central level, we have the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change bringing out the e-waste rules. So the e-waste management rules of 2016 were recently brought up, and it clearly defines the roles of the state and also the other actors in the e-waste discarding, recycling and refurbishing as well. So the United Nations defines e-waste as a discarded product with a battery or a plug and has features of toxic and hazardous substances like mercury, which can pose a severe risk to not only human but also environment health, and therefore the government has brought up a policy for e-waste handling purpose. Now the government of India, with the goal of protecting the environment and also to work with e-waste handling and management, has notified the e-waste management rules of 2016. The rules are currently being enforced by the center and the state pollution control boards. So these boards play a major role. And Telangana government has brought about in 2017 a dedicated e-waste management policy. Let's have a quick review of what exactly the Telangana state wants to achieve with regard to the e-waste management. Now the state's role, what exactly? So the state identifies and defines the role not only of the state but also the various actors in the e-waste management and handling as well, and also the green warriors, that is the employees or the participants that actually work with regard to the e-waste. And the state's role is defined very clearly with regard to e-waste. So after this rules were identified by the central government and also they were published, the e-waste management rules, the focus has been on the state's role and also on extended producer responsibility. So extensive focus has been on the extensive producer responsibility, with clear responsibilities outlined not only for the producers but also for the manufacturers, producers, consumers as well, bulk consumers, refurbishers, collection centers, recyclers, state governments and urban local bodies. And these are all who the state speaks about in this e-waste management policy of 2017 by the Telangana government. The government aims to complement these rules by playing a very active role in refurbishing and recycling of electronic products through the right channel. Until recently, the battle against the e-waste was mostly taken by the Central Pollution Control Board and the State Pollution Control Board, and now the state governments are also playing a major role. So it was only in the e-waste management rules of 2016 that the state government in the e-waste management rule, the role of the state government has been clearly identified. And at the state level, you have the Information and Technology Department being an important stakeholder in this area, which ties both the seller and also the buyer side and acts as a nodal agency with regard to fulfilling the responsibilities for implementing the rules. In line with the responsibilities now mentioned in these rules, the state government will take up the following activities. One, first of all, it will establish an industrial space and a shed for e-waste dismantling, recycling in the existing and upcoming industrial parks, estates, etc. Mandatory registration processes will be notified for the workers involved in dismantling and recycling after consulting the Department of Labour under the state skill development mission. Now the state will involve the state will enhance the workers who are involved in dismantling and recycling, which is taken up by the skill department and as a priority area, and also to ensure the safety and the health of the workers. Task is to collaborate with the Skills Council for green jobs to develop and drive program for the workers. The government shall also prepare an integrated plan for effective implementation of these provisions as well. Recycling, refurbishing, reuse plays a very important role in reducing the waste in the country, and it is also called as something circular economy, which is the goal of the new mission included in the intended nationally determined contributions which the government of India submits to the United Nations Framework Climate Change Convention on Climate Change, and the new mission has been added as life. So circular economy is one of the major goals of the new mission of life under the updated intended nationally determined contributions given by the government of India under the Paris Climate Change Agreement to the United Nations Convention on Climate Change. Incentives have been given for recyclers, refurbishers, dismantlers and collection centers. So a capital investment subsidy will be given. A subsidy of 1 crore now is being given for minimum capital investment of 5 crore for the first 5 recyclers and refurbishers. For dismantlers and collection centers, 30 lakh shall be provided as subsidy for a minimum capital investment of 1 crore. Now there will be also subsidy on the lease rentals. So 25% subsidy on lease rentals, which is applicable for the company for the first 3 years of operation is given. Training subsidy of 1,000 per month per person for 3 months will be provided for a maximum of 1,000 per people. And if for refurbishment of the municipal and the panchayat taxes, reimbursement of the municipal taxes for the first 3 years of operation for these units will be taken out in each town, and incentives also for the bulk consumers. Subsidy will be given on purchasing of refurbished products. So the government of Telangana is now providing a subsidy of 10% of the total expenditure that is incurred on purchasing these refurbished goods, subject to a minimum of 100 units of procured and a maximum subsidy of rupees 2 lakh. So this is being given. So the role of the state government towards the consumers, not only the recyclers, the dismantlers and the collection centers, help extended by the state government to them, but also to the consumers. Let's look at the role of the state in terms of consumers. Now the consumers of the electronic products are the producers of the e-waste. We know that the government of Telangana now understands this initiative and therefore are targeting the consumers as well with regard to e-waste. For the bulk consumers, there is a collaboration with major industry organizations like your NASSCOM etc. to identify the challenges in handling of e-waste, promotion of refurbished goods. All the organizations, especially the NGOs and the non-profit organizations, shall be promoted to procure refurbished goods. Standard operating procedures are being come up by the state government for handling of the e-waste, which can then be used by any company, and also minor modifications can be made. Government handling of e-waste, now maintaining a standard operating procedure to all the government departments, especially in offices which use a lot of computers, tablets, chargers, etc. A mandatory take back clause shall be included in all the government procurement wherever plausible. This is to reduce the e-waste, and also records of the e-waste generated. This is a very good step. Consumers shall maintain the records of the e-waste generated by them in the Form 2 and shall submit the annual reports to the State Pollution Control Board before June 30th, following the financial year to which the returns will relate. And for retail consumers, as I told you, there is a state responsibility to each and every player in the e-waste generation, recycling, management and also dismantling as well. So the role with regard to the consumers. Now awareness campaigns are being developed and also come up with by the IT department, especially for running awareness campaigns regarding to educate the citizens for effective disposal and handling of the e-waste. Mobile and web application. Now the government of Telangana will come up with a mobile and a web application to help the citizens to dispose of this e-waste through the right channel, and also to raise any other issue with regard to disposing and handling of the e-waste. Collection centers, in coordination with the State Pollution Control Board and the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, collection centers should be established in an appropriate number in residential areas. This is a very, very good step. Commercial complexes, retail outlets, customer care stores and also education and research centers as well. Now these collection centers will be a part of the producer's collection and channelizing plan under the extended producer responsibility under the e-waste management rules. And now the main actors, that is the green warriors who do all of this work. The government extends support to the green warriors and also recognizes their contribution and encourages them to become a part of these joint efforts for collection, dismantling and recycling units working with the processing end of the electronic waste, exposes these green warriors to hazardous substances which could be life-threatening. The government of Telangana, in coordination with the State Pollution Control Board and also the departments of the factories, shall ensure a strict adherence of safety equipment by the processing unit to these staff, and also to encourage establishment of more e-waste processing units, the particular uniforms, gloves, etc., whatever is needed, and also health support and insurance to these green warriors. There is now a drive towards refurbishing. While focus has been on recycling of the used electric and electronic equipment, the government now intends to boost the idea of refurbishing activities in the state and sale and use of refurbishing goods in a proper way to realize the goal of reduce recycle motor. In order to drive this shift towards this refurbishing, the government itself has come forward to anchor client by promising a minimum of 20% of the business to startups and also SMEs in electronic and electric equipment refurbishing. Also, conversion of the unorganized sector. Most of the sector, almost close to 97% of the waste management sector, mainly the e-waste management sector, is in the unorganized sector. It means the employees do not have any protection, not only with regard to wages but also health, insurance, etc., social security, and also these are outside the government handholding support. So therefore, statistics pertaining to the electronic and the e-waste have shown that this sector is largely unorganized in many cases and engages in hazardous activities like metal extraction, and about 95% of the recycling happens in the unorganized sector. This is a primary concern not only with regard to the sector but also the persons employed and also working in this sector as well. This not only poses individuals to the risk with the health but also leads to death sometimes because of the burning of the e-waste. To curtail this rampant growth of the unorganized sector, the government is now providing formal, safer, better opportunities to the unorganized sector employees, and the government is focusing more to bring about these employees into the organized sector. There is also an awareness drive to absorb these people and the sector into the organized sector. Now, finally, the e-waste management rules is the major legislation or the set of rules that provide for registration, recognition, skill development, monitoring, ensuring safety of the health of the workers involved in dismantling and recycling of e-waste. And clean environment definitely is the goal for all, with the increase in digital area and everything getting into e-governance, from your registration to also applicability of your courses, online courses, education. There is a lot of promoting for reducing the usage of paper. And apart from that, because of this, there is another challenge that is emerging, that is your e-waste, because of the digitalization, and therefore it is you and our responsibility also to use the minimum products and also to ensure that we use them for a very, very long time, so that we don't really cater and also promote a lot of generation of e-waste. And these are some of the steps and the main components of the e-waste policy of the Telangana government, what it intends to do with regard to a circular economy and also reducing the e-waste in the system or the environment. And I hope that this content was really helpful to you all. If you did, please do like, share, subscribe, and I shall see you in my next post. Until then, very happy learning.